Hello there, everyone, and welcome to Super Cast Brothers, the podcast where I have to sometimes remind Jonathan to shut the fuck up so I can start a goddamn episode. That's why we're here. I'm Santa Wilson's listener, and I am eternally tormented. There's Jono, otherwise known as John, please. And we have Kellyjelly, who is here to remind us all that sometimes I don't know. I didn't have anything prepared. He just reminds us that sometimes, don't leave a fork in your microwave.
Don't forget me.
Yeah, don't forget him.
Don't forget.
Don't forget him. What's some other random lines we could have gone with there? Do you think I don't know, John? Do you think you can take him?
Yes.
Okay.
They're done.
All right, that's their 3 lines. It's the only 3 lines that character has. We've said them all. It's an episode of Supercast Brothers, and it's Xenoblade time. It's called Xenoblade Chronicle'd. It's the title.
We'll make it through this.
Okay. I'm trying to think of. Is it Rex that says that, or is it Shulk, or something?
Gotta be strong to survive.
I don't know who says this line. I don't have a photographic memory.
I can.
What?
Well,
I hate this man so much. And I know I'm going to hate him even more later. I'm just trying to delay the inevitable. But we are, sometimes we talk about just franchises that are in Smash and what we liked about them, our histories, and maybe a little bit of their connection to Smashing. We've done Pokemon, I think. Maybe. Sure, we did. We did Mario, probably. We did Zelda. That one I remember for sure. We did F-Zero. I think we did Star Fox.
We did Fire Emblem.
Did we do Fire Emblem? Shit, man. We've done more of these than I remembered.
Fuck. I thought we did. Eric, we had a very vibrant conversation.
Next one will be Punch Out. I've never played a Punch Out, so probably not.
I'll have so much to say.
We'll do Final Fantasy next, actually. But we're talking about Xenoblade Chronicles. There's 4 games. Debatedly more than that. Depending on how wide reach you want to get. Do you consider Future Connected or Torna or what's the other one? Future Redeemed? Are they their own games? Do we count Xenogears and Xenosaga? Probably not. But I mean, there is connections because of the fucking cosmos.
Dragalia Lost in Project Cross Zone?
They're in Dragalia Lost?
I thought Shulk and Fiora were, yeah.
I don't know. I do remember them being in Project Cross Zone, though. But
the Mysterious Giant wasn't.
We've all played the games. We may not have played all the games. I haven't played X, or technically I haven't played the original. I've only watched it in full. But I haven't played X, and I got spoiled today when looking for graphics for this fucking episode. And I'm mad about it because I'm pretty sure it's a high tier spoiler, which, by the way, there's spoilers in this one. Go away if you're gonna play the games. Don't look at the graphic either because there's spoilers there. Oops, sorry.
Don't play Smash Bros.
Should have warned you, but too late. Normally, I don't have all the characters appear at the start of the episode. I do them after the intro. This time I didn't because I just got done making the damn thing like half an hour ago. Whoops!
It's true.
Bad. Oh well, get over it.
That's unfortunate.
Yep, sure is for some people that aren't me. Hey, I can't be sued for this. It's not my problem anymore.
Nintendo sees us. Stop talking about Xenoblade.
Keep it up.
It's like 67 years old at this point. I think I could talk about it, Nintendo. Fuck you.
67 or 6 or 7?
Yes.
I think it's older than that now.
I mean, considering how Xenoblade 3's timeline works, the answer is yes. 67 and 67.
Very true. Very. Yeah, I wonder what
No.
term we're on.
Yes, that.
15 years. It's been 15 years of Xenoblade. Wow.
I was talking about 3.
Since
Xenoblade
I
1
the
know.
original
only.
I
launch
know.
on the Wii,
Do what?
15 years since the original Wii release, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
I
it
know
was
time
older than
flies.
that, actually. That's surprising. It feels longer ago.
Perhaps, and maybe that's also because there is the loose connection to Xenogears and Xenosaga.
That's a whole other can of worms, though.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, 15 years ago, Xenoblade 1 came out on Wii, and that was I guess that's a fine place to start since it's the first one.
Oh, we're actually
proud.
almost. Wait. When is this episode going up? Hold on. I need to see when this episode's being uploaded. Oh, of this episode's upload date, it'll be 2 days after Xenoblade's 15th birthday.
Ooh,
Wow.
good.
We
Seriously.
timed this completely unplanned.
Cheers.
That's pretty amazing.
Sometimes we time episodes with the right date, like with Shadow the Hedgehog. We were like, okay, to be right, maybe we're gonna do the character moveset. Then this was an accident. This was a complete accident. Ah,
This is good old Xenoblade.
good old Xenoblade.
The first game in the series was also the first game to have a character named after me in the Nintendo franchise.
What? Isn't there a
Who
John
did
in
you?
Fire Emblem?
Oh, there's Jonathan Jones as well.
Oh yeah.
Good guy. Good guy. I just wanted to talk about Juju, our favorite character from Xenoblade.
Oh, you know what? That's fair.
Juju. I was gonna say who?
Oh,
Oh, Juju, everybody's favorite. He's not actually that bad, as bad as everybody says. Like, there's many, much worse characters out there, both from a design standpoint and from a personality standpoint. But you know, Juju is as Juju does. So
Juju is as Juju does. You've heard it here, folks. That's the episode. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
But yeah, I am so charmed that we live in a world where Xenoblade came to the West. It wasn't guaranteed to happen, and Operation Rainfall played a part in the success, which is just it's still crazy to me. Like fan campaigns don't normally turn out that way. And yet we got Xenoblade, we got The Last Story, and we got Pandora's Tower, one of which is still relevant.
We got Xenoblade. We got Xenoblade 2. We've got Xenoblade X, and then Xenoblade 3 is a digital download on. Can't hold that one up.
Oh, I have Xenoblade 3 somewhere over there. I can go get it.
Yeah, I guess. Where the fuck is my Switch?
are we all gonna just show our boxes at the same time?
Oh, my Switch battery is not charged. I can't do it, honey.
There's one. There's two. There's three. And there's X. One big family.
These things is not like the other.
Yeah, probably two.
Yeah. It's very, very different designs from one.
To discuss each of these and how they stack up to each other. And
Yeah.
they do share. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mentioned that like I've completely played through 2, I completely played through 3. I've watched a Let's Play of 1, and I haven't seen anything on X besides like the first trailer and then a spoiler earlier today. But I intend to play it. I don't know if I'll play 1. I bought the definitive edition, I just don't know. From what I watched of its combat system, I'm not a fan of the whole what you do with how to deal with Nick. I'm just not a fan of it. It seems like a pain in the ass to me. But Kelly, I know you've played one, and I know you really like one. So
Mm.
what's been your experience with each one? Like, have you played all of them, or have you only watched X, or have you not seen X at all yet?
Yeah, so I played 1, 2, and 3. I played 1 actually on the new 3DS the first time around
Oh,
because I was one of the 20 people that bought that game, and I really liked it. Um, Something about the art style, the Wii's and new 3DS's art style. Like I don't dislike the kind of more polished look of the new of the definitive edition. I actually quite like it, but something
mm-hmm.
about that old art style, it's like it almost feels like hand painted. Like what's that other series like Valkyria Chronicles? It's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
that sort of like semi-realistic fantasy style. It's
Yeah,
got that sort of vibe.
when I was grabbing graphics for to put in the background for the YouTube video of this episode, uh, I
Mm.
was like, I was seeing like the art for like the original version and the art for the definitive edition. It's like, wow, these are just completely different styles in general. Like it almost looks like they just took the model and then made a 2D art image of the in-game models. And I think in game they look better, but their official art for the definitive edition, they look so weird compared to the original art.
Yeah, like I can imagine like starting with 2 as many people did on the Switch, it wouldn't really make sense because it's just like, oh, this is just the first game we're starting with on like here's the style, but it's
Yeah.
much stands very much in contrast to 1.
Yeah, and I wish I could say that it was done to make them match up better with the art styles of 2 and 3, but I don't think they do. I don't think they do. It's
It
even
really
more of a standout, honestly.
I was gonna say it very much is a series where each of them they all have that connective tissue that makes them Xenoblade, but they all have that unique style and premise. I was gonna say that, yeah, I played, sorry, 1, 2, 3, and I'm currently playing through X
Oh,
slowly. Um, wow, that is such a big world, and you can really feel the Breath of the Wild influence, pre-Breath of the Wild. And yeah, that's the only game that we can get to it later, but it's really the only like a unique in the series where the main trilogy isn't strictly open world. It's not a true open world game, but it feels like it at times just because of how, even though the maps are segmented, they really feel the scope, the scale of them almost
yeah.
can trick you. And it's like Disneyland in a sense. It's like it's not as the castle. It's not as big as it actually is, but you might be tricked into believing it's true.
Personally, I prefer wide open, large zones over completely open world. Generally speaking,
Mhm.
because completely open world also, and people get terminology all mixed up. Open world games are also just like you can go anywhere and do anything anywhere. Is really what that definition is meant to be. But we've taken it to just be one giant seamless map. No, that's not open world. A game like Xenoblade games would not be good open world. Seamless map, you could do that with the first game, maybe. Third game, you could do that. Actually, third game is isn't Xenoblade 3 a seamless map?
No, no, it's there are loading zones between all of them.
I don't remember them then. Xenoblade 2 obviously
Oh,
is in
you
chunks,
mean if you
and
were
they
to
have
walk,
to
sorry,
because of
like
how the world is.
sorry, you mean if you were like to walk from one end to the other?
Yeah,
I'm actually not sure.
I
That's a good
think it
question.
is. I don't remember for sure. I know 2 isn't, and 2 cannot because of how its game is built and how its world is, which is totally fine.
You might be right in that sense. So we'd have to check that, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's not like there's not like an X, for instance. It's the scope is like impressive, but there is a lot of busy work. There's a lot of kind of stretches where it's just kind of like not much is here. It just kind of feels it's hard to kind of not feel big for the sake of being big and feel like there's like Breath of the Wild had a bit of that. I think it had a bit of a pretty good like moment to moment gameplay where you might stumble upon something or you might see something that's like, oh, that's interesting. But there were a lot of stretches of just here's a really big mountain range with a couple Koroks and go have fun. But
yeah.
yeah, I think yeah, the series definitely has done a lot of experimenting when it comes to that. So it's going to be interesting to see what direction they take it in next, because they have kind of done both ways. So with that, I was going to actually ask for you two, what's your favorite world of the series if you had to pick one of the games, like Bionis and Mechonis, Allrest, or Ionios?
I'll let
Or
Jonah
Mira.
go first because he hasn't had a chance to talk yet.
Yeah, please, Jonah.
Hey, I'm Jono, and I am a talking man. That's an interesting question, and one I haven't really weighed prior. And it's interesting too, given the setting of 3 takes so abundantly from the first 2 games in certain respects. But I don't know. I still hold the nostalgia for Bionis and Mechonis, like the idea of living and fighting and existing on these 2 uh you know statuesque gods who were once fighting is interesting. Like that set the scope for what Xenoblade is to me, and so I feel nostalgic for it. So I'd probably, I have a, like you, Kelly, I have a lot of lingering love for Xenoblade 1.
Mm-hmm. Almost feels
I
like Bionicle as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
as far as like the worlds themselves, I have complicated thoughts on them because I think like if you take away what the world is, and by that I mean like what John was talking about, like Xenoblade 1, like everybody is living on these 2 giant upright titans. The if you take that away, like the worlds themselves are all very well designed. They're very nice to look at, and they feel like a place that people could live in. What
Mhm.
bothers me though is I try to wrap my head around just like, okay, so here are these 2 giant titans with their weapons out, and people are somehow able to walk and live on all sides of them in all directions. And it just, my brain refuses to accept this. My brain just says no. You say that we're living on the Bionis' arm or their leg or in their armpit. I don't. No, no.
Yeah. Okay.
This is I can't. I can't with it. It's a big suspension of disbelief for me. Not that I'm knocking it, but it's just like my brain's just like I refuse to acknowledge this. Xenoblade 2
Mhm.
doesn't have that nearly as bad because Gorma, you're just on top of Gorma. Ginbu, you're in Ginbu. Temperantia, but then there's Morarding, which is Bionis and Mechonis again. It's an upright walking creature. It's like, God damn it, stop it! I, yeah. But
You
then
think they'd
Xenoblade
have it?
3's world is interesting because it's a regular-ish world at first glance because it's just like regular planet more or less, as far as we're pretty sure it's not flat.
Mhm.
Uh but it takes elements of the worlds from both games and it pushes them all together. Uh,
Mm.
what's the what's the water place outside the High Intia city in Xenoblade 1? I can't think of its name.
Aerith Sea?
Aerith Sea, thank you.
Yeah.
The Aerith
Yep.
Sea is mixed together with the Leftharian Archipelago in Xenoblade 3. I
Mhm.
like that Xenoblade 3 is taking these elements and just mixing up, matching them together. That's really fun.
Mhm.
I like my silly crossover bullshit. Okay, this is
Mm.
well established. This is in that wheelhouse.
Super Smash Brothers.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that shit. So
Mhm.
seeing these iconic areas, and sometimes you may not recognize them right away, but then you read, it's like, oh, this is supposed to be that. Oh, I see it, and it's like,
Mm.
oh my god, okay, that's cool. I love that. I can't comment on Xenoblade X because I haven't witnessed its world, but I really like what they did, merging the worlds together with Xenoblade 3.
I also really enjoy, if we're just talking about the tone of the game, Xenoblade 3 with its opening sequence with all the soldiers at war
Oh
and
yeah.
dying and disappearing into, you're like, what the hell? is going on, and this is such a tonal shift from, Xenoblade 2 is criticized for being more lighthearted, more like Saturday morning anime in its tone.
I'm sorry.
Um,
Wait a minute, though. Hold on. But Xenoblade 3 is the only game to kill its main character in like the first 3 scenes.
yeah,
They straight up murder your main character in the 3rd sequence of the game.
yeah, and that's what I like. It's
In two?
this
That's not
post-apocalyptic.
Kitty.
Yeah, these are Nintendo games. What's the deal, guys?
No, and there is. I think we'll get more into that too. But there's a lot of dissonance in the tone and storytelling of 2. It's like, whoa, whiplash.
Yeah.
But from like a storytelling perspective, like a character development perspective, and just living in that meshed world, post-apocalyptic, like it feels lived in, but it also feels dire and empty, and that is appealing. Like they did a very good job of tying everything up in a bow and taking these 2 disparate worlds, and from 1 and 2 and turning them into something.
Yeah.
You also, I guess this is a big spoiler, visiting basically a real life American suburb was bizarre. So there's that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was like,
Yeah, came out of nowhere.
Okay, where is this going?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's another game I played recently that was pulling some of that. It's like you get to a dungeon, it's like you're just like, wait a minute, that's a U.S. highway sign in my fantasy game.
Mhm.
The fuck's going on
mundane.
here? All right.
Yeah.
Mundane becomes insane.
Yeah.
And yeah, more so to listeners' point with just how, like, with things being slapped together in 3 from elements of 1 and 2, I feel like if someone hasn't played 1 and 2 and they've played 3 for the first time, it's not gonna,
Yeah.
they're not gonna get a lot of that. It's not gonna hit them the same way. But really, it insists upon
Like
the player experiencing 1 and 2 first.
There's nothing stop. What's good about 3 is that there is nothing that necessarily requires you to know about 1 and 2 to play 3. Yeah, it'd be helpful to know who Nia and Melia are, but you don't need to know them.
And Van Damme.
You don't need to know Van Damme or about what. You don't need to know who he is before you play 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. He's there in a way. It does well as an end to a trilogy. Like it feels like it's capping something off.
Yeah.
Which makes me curious about Xenoblade 4, which is surely in development because Nintendo just keeps throwing money at Monolith to turn these out at an ungodly rate.
I don't know if Xenoblade 4 is in development, and here's why. I think
because Xenosaga is.
No, I think Xenoblade X2 is in development. I think they remade like the Wii U in Xenoblade X didn't do super hot, but they still, surprising all of us, made a definitive edition for the Switch, added more content like they did with the definitives for 1. I think they did that for a reason. I think Xenoblade X2 is the next project, and I think it's what finally ties X together to the rest of the main series.
I would be happy with
that
bold declaration. That would
because
be cool.
Xenoblade, because I don't think the Xenoblade series was originally conceptualized as going to be like this huge, big connected thing. They made the first game. Then they made X, which is going to be like originally I think they were going to go do a Final Fantasy. They were all just going to be like disconnected things with similar elements, like the Napons. But then they had ideas, and they made 2, and they connected 2 to 1 with the architect at the end. And then when they did the definitive edition of 1, they changed Alvis and changed his necklace to be a core crystal from 2, confirming he was the third of I can't remember what they're called, but the 3 between like Malos, Numa, really, and Alvis. They are the main 3. They confirmed that there when it wasn't original. There's no way that was the original plan. So I don't think it was the original plan to have these all be connected. But I think now they already have. X is like in this weird stepchild situation. I think they're making X2, and I think they're going to connect them.
That would be cool. I mean, isn't the premise of X? I'm not sure because I haven't played it. yet, but I believe the premise of X is that they're building a new Earth, and
I
they're
think
like
so.
migrating from our Earth, which has been destroyed or invaded, and they're like in Neo Los Angeles,
I know New Los
something like
Angeles is
that.
like the start. Like I think
Yeah.
it's the starting city. Kelly, you played part of the game,
Hmm.
so you can tell us when we're wrong here. But I believe it's like the starting city, and I don't know if like Earth's been destroyed, but they're definitely going to found a new Earth planet of a sort, from my
Hmm.
understanding.
Oh yeah, the story follows a surviving human ship after escaping an alien battle that destroys Earth. Okay, wow.
Hmm.
So we're tying in our world with Xenoblade and X2. Perfect.
Yeah, it's
Do it.
you don't want to. Well, I mean, Xenoblade X
Hmm.
isn't really known for its robust story, but I don't want to spoil the story too much. But what you see, you know how like you have the big kind of hoop, like the big like New LA. That
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
actually a part of the giant ship that was supposed to land intact. So they basically like that was all that survived the crash. So they
Hmm.
basically had to commandeer that. I think it was like a bulk, like a wall, like a container section. That they were like, oh, this is all we got. We need to make this into the city now, and that's literally all they had to work with. So there's a lot of like debris and scattered like pieces of the it's called the White Whale ship around the planet. So yeah, they they literally got screwed over what they had before.
Hmm. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I don't want to go too much more into it just in case, but yeah, it's not in a good, they're stuck on a different planet. It's a lot more than they can manage.
I like one of the characters' names in X. Amazing. I'm going to play this now.
What's the name? Is it L?
Aloise.
Oh, I don't know. I only looked the names of who the playable
Oh,
characters were because I had to get graphics. I
He's
was like, yeah, this guy
he's
looks cool.
he's
Sure,
yeah. He's your friend, and he likes fish.
that's okay.
Yeah.
but yeah, I agree with you that I think it's almost feels like Star Wars in a sense where like one and also X they feel so self-contained because I think and originally it was intended to be a one-off.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because already Operation Rainfall, like how like this isn't gonna sell that well, is it? Like surely not enough to warrant a series. It's just its own sort of title, like individually. So
Oops, it did.
yep. So yeah, it's interesting to see how what steps they took to kind of repurpose it into a connected, expanded world.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. I am
Albus.
thrilled. Yes. Alvis and Juju.
Albus
Albus
and
and the Chipmunks.
A.
Yeah. Juju is
But
in
not really.
Xenoblade 3 in a
What?
flashback. Wow.
Oh,
Amazing.
okay.
He was in the background the entire time.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm so pleased.
Like Fight Club, Juju just
Um,
appears for like a single frame and just
Oh,
he's gone.
it's a flashback of future redeemed. That makes sense.
hmm Oh, Kelly, you asked us the question about favorite worlds. What about you? What about you?
That's a tough one because yeah, I would probably say Bionis and Mechonis because I love the idea of two having kind of like a few like several titans doing their own thing,
Mhm.
but I think just kind of being on each one, as unique as they all were and all their different cultures, that I appreciated them because I think that was the
Mhm.
right move. I just
Yeah.
didn't like it as much as sort of like how interconnected like the two titans were. Like everywhere you went on there, you could see like, oh, we're on Bionis Plain, or sorry, we're on Sword Valley. You can look down and see Colony 9 on the ankle all the way down, or
Hmm.
like you can even like fall from I think one of the fortresses on Mechonis and land and end up on the Fallen Arm. Like it's
Hmm.
all just so much was thought out and put into how they all connect and how
Yeah.
like oh the arm is always in darkness away from the ball like the sun basically the ball of ether that's the sun so it's a tundra just little things like that and how well they all kind of mesh together
Hmm.
but
Definitely. Yeah,
probably
they
like
did a
other than
great
that
job.
3 is also very good.
Hmm. Um, and I think also, given what we are and what this podcast is, we can talk a little bit about Xenoblade and Smash as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, first of all, we can all agree, Shulk is just a Photoshop Little Mac, right?
Yes.
For those that don't know and weren't around at the time, during the Smash 4 cycle, when we were still, for the game's release, we were still getting character reveals. A leak came out of like what was supposed to be like the finished character select screen. People were just like, no, Shulk means game? No, I don't think so. That game didn't do too well. Two, look at this. If you just tilt Little Mac and just edit the hair a bit, it's just Shulk. It's like, nah, Shulk's in the game, guys. So Shulk got into Smash 4, and then Ultimate. Before Ultimate release, people were like debating like what character's going to be in, and now I see a lot of people saying like, "Oh, Rex is going to be in." Rex, we know Sakurai loves Xenoblade. He's obviously going to add Rex to the game. I'm just like, yo, guys, you know that they started working on the game like 2 or 3 months after Xenoblade 2 release, right? It's too soon. Rex is not making the cut, and neither is Arms. Well, I was right about the base release. Y'all can fuck off. Then DLC came around. There was another chance, and we didn't get Rex still, which shocked probably pretty much everybody. And so we got Pyra and Mithra as the playable characters, which I don't quite like. I'm not against them being added over Rex, but I don't quite understand the reasoning that he says. Like, oh yeah, having Rex and Pyra out, it was just too taxing. So instead we have Pyra and Mithra, and it was the swap mechanics. Like, okay, so did you try to combine Zelda Sheik with Ice Climbers, and that was the problem? Because your explanation isn't super clear. That's the only thing I can make sense of what the problem was. That he wanted to have Rex and one of Pyra and Mithra always out, and then probably having the swap mechanic. But because the two of them were far more unique in design and movements compared to Popo and Nana, which is just 2 Kirby's with extra frills, it was too much. So I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. Rex, you're out. You're the least important part of this duo. Pyra Mithra, you to stay.
Yeah. They also gave us a Cloud Sea of Walrus stage that was basically 1-for-1 with the Cloud Sea of Walrus stage you made a few years ago on Smashovia Wiki.
It was 1-for-1, but mirror. Because I had it pointed the opposite direction. Like, god damn it. To be fair, if you're gonna pick one stage to represent Xenoblade 2, you're gonna pick riding on top of Gramps through the Cloud Sea.
Yep.
Now, if we didn't already have Gower Plain, then Gormott is an option. But Gormott would be way too similar in just like appearance and art style to Gower Plain. It's like, okay, you can't do that.
Yeah. I think a good stage idea would have also been if you could ride on Azurta in his other form.
Just a giant, like, fluffy kind of little mini Azurta.
No, he's just not giant. He won't still just you're riding on top of the mini version.
Yep.
Yeah. Not much space there.
Not at all.
No. Yeah. You could be shrunken down in theory and ride on him.
It could be a good like trophy tussle sort of situation where like you're small and you're fighting on a giant trophy kind of.
I would not mind if we got event match back that did like more of those trophy battles. So those were kind of fun. But like, let us select them for a normal match and not just you can only do this when you're fighting NPCs. Like, come on.
Yeah, I want to fight on Majora's Mask trophy in versus mode.
I thought you were going to go with a completely different direction than just the simple and correct choice of Majora's Mask.
Entei.
Also a good one. I was expecting something dumb. Not that one. I was expecting some other dumb.
Oh, Nintendog. That'd actually be a good one.
Yeah.
Anyway. And I guess it was a surprise to some people that Shulk got in to Smash 4 too. I mean, Xenoblade at the time, it was one game. It was testing the waters. It certainly sold well, better than the other Operation Wingfall games, which is not saying much, unfortunately. But it was still like a fledgling JRPG released at the very end of the Wii's life cycle. They still could have just said, screw this and move on, take their toys home, say they made a profit and be done with it, have it be one-off. and have Monolith work on something else, like Disaster Day of Crisis 2 for the Wii U. But instead, they worked on more and more Xenoblade, and we got Photoshopped Little Mac in 4. And what a heck of a game 4 was to be for leaks. Like, towards the very end, like the last few months before its release, it's like, oh, there's Bowser Jr., there's Little Mac, there's Duck Hunt, there's Shulk. It's like, okay.
The ESRB leak.
Still one of the most insane leaks to this day, like aside from maybe the Grinch leak, which I don't think the person was never
fake.
found for that one,
Yeah.
but my gosh.
Yeah, still feel bad about that one. We got most of the characters from it in the end, just not
Was
Isaac
that before
or Marshall.
Was that before or after the Gamatsu leak that also I think listed Shulk in there?
Was that
The Gamatsu leak was for Smash 4.
Right, but there was ESRB and then Gamatsu, or was it the other way around?
Gamatsu was before.
Other way around.
Because the ESRB leak is what revealed Shulk.
Right.
And it had like the final characters that we didn't know about yet. Because it also had Bowser Jr. on there, which is when I stopped hating on Rosalina being in Smash 4. It's like, she's our one Mario Whip. What the fuck? Oh, Bowser Jr. too. Okay, I'm not mad anymore. This is fine now.
Yeah, because Gamatsu kind of felt like a legit leak, but of an earlier version of Smash 4.
It absolutely was. Because, it got a couple things wrong. It said Crom. It said the Chorus Kids. But we know that Crom was considered at one point, but was dropped for Ramen. And we know that there is emblem data. But I don't remember there's... No, there is... There's something in the code for Smash 4 that revealed it's like, there was more Rhythm Heaven originally in here. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was an emblem, but I don't recall for sure.
That they just randomly have the Sneaky Spirit as an enemy. It makes you take pause.
It's the only enemy from a Nintendo franchise that doesn't have a playable character associated to its franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Is this close?
Yeah. So rolling that wheel back onto 4, how do you guys think Nintendo did or Sakurai did with translating Shulk and Xenoblade into Smash? You have some thoughts, Kelly.
If you want to get into the weeds of it, probably not. Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that I think he got his mannerisms and his even just the way he stands. Like, he'll swing the sword and then put it back on his back. He doesn't hold it all the time. He got that part of Shulk down really well. But just let's start with the fact he had to basically invent 3 new arts: jump, speed, and smash. Because in Xenoblade 1, Shulk's got like a handful, and all the characters have a handful of different arts that you can use. And in Smash, he chose to translate that as basically the arts are like different traits, basically. So Buster would make you less knockback. I mean, you can chain combos, but you took more damage in return, etc. Which was interesting because I don't think a character had ever been done like that before.
Nope.
So it was first. So I think overall it was the right call. There could have been a million ways you could do Shulk. Like, he's got one called Monado Cyclone, which could have been a final smash where just giant cyclone around him. You could have done this spoiler. You could have done spoiler and the spoiler. You could have done that too. Much to pull.
You can say spoilers in this episode. I've already got a picture of Fiora on the graphic.
Fair enough.
It's too late. Mithra's on the graphic.
Mio dies.
It's like how Sakurai just casually. And then Sakurai just casually throwing spoilers out like it's no big deal. It's like, here's a trophy of Fiora. Oh, and let's put her in the final smash next time, even though there's only supposed to be 3 characters in a chain attack.
Here's something I actually want to, since you've mentioned chain attack, I want to talk about this. How do you feel, generally speaking, about final smashes where a character does the big team up attack, they get all their allies together and they just do something when it's a mechanic for their game? But how do you feel about them picking that be the final smash instead of one singular technique, one powerful move that character just does on their own? Because Shulk does it, and Joker, 2 of them both do this. And I feel like especially with Joker, it sets a standard. If we were to ever get the protagonists of Persona 4 and 3, it's oh, okay, so they're gonna get all-out attack as their final smash. Cool, that's predictable and boring now. Instead of just being Shulk does what's a random one? Yeah, like Cyclone or Eater or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely feels like it's become a bit of an archetype for finishing moves. You could see it in like something like Min Min as well. She gets
Yeah.
all the homies in, and they all gang up. Yeah, basically like a diet all-out attack. I like the one that Shulk has because they basically kind of invent their own style. Because in Xenoblade, it's just like here's like over the shoulder Shulk's perspective. He does an attack. Then it switches to whoever's next, like Ryan. They do an attack, and then Dunban he does an attack. But then with Smash, it kind of presented a kind of almost like in real time, which I appreciated. So it's like here we go, all three of us at the same time, blam blam blam. And then compare that to Joker, which is like literally lifted one to one from Persona 5, which was much more faithful. So I feel like there is a bit, it's becoming a bit overdone, but if they can do it in a way that feels unique and it's different than maybe from the base game in a different presentation, then I'm all for it. Good question. Then they added Fiora, and then it was just like, okay, now there's 4 people. Cool.
Yeah, I didn't like that they
Mhm.
did that. And then similarly with Mega Man's Final Smash, like they added in Base and Proto Man. It's like, what? They're
Yeah.
not Mega Men. This makes no
That was
sense. It would have been a little bit more sense. So would have hated it, but it would have made a little bit more sense if they added the Mega Man Zero design of Zero to that lineup, because at least his game is called Mega Man Zero at least. But it was like, no, Base and Proto should not be in Mega Man Final Smash when it's all the Mega Men. God damn it.
It'd be interesting to be a fly on the wall and seeing like how they decide on who gets a guest spot cameo.
Yep. Sakurai is just like, let's put Base in there. They're like, okay.
Okay, all right, we'll do it. Sure.
Yeah.
Model
Let's put
base,
Mecha
thanks.
Fiora in here, and
If anything,
let's
put in
keep
Vent
Rom.
or Ale from ZX.
Mm-hmm. Let's add Crom to the game as an Echo fighter and keep Crom in Robin's Final Smash and victory poses.
They had an easy solution. Use Morgan.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
I would love Morgan.
And it would have been like the opposite of gender of whatever gender Robin you're playing
But then I
as.
would have had to make 2 Morgans, and that's too much work.
We have 2 Robins.
And then they could have made Morgan an Echo Fighter too, and then had a Morgan and Crom appear in Robin's Final
Then
Smash.
it'll just be Anna.
Yes. And then Anna would also appear in Robin's Final Smash.
Fine, it's Sumiya.
Okay, that would be random.
I had to go with a random one.
Anna from Engage will be playable in Smash.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, the little one.
Yeah.
That's my choice for an Engage rep. Sorry, Ivy and Yunaka would actually be interesting. No, I'm not saying sorry to Ilya.
Vander.
I'm not saying sorry to Vander.
Oh, Diamant.
Diamant would just be a cooler Roy.
Very true. He's a cooler Roy in Engage.
Yes, exactly. Anyways, this is not the Engage bashing episode. That's later.
Yeah, really. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of just like, here's a bunch of people, go get them.
Yeah. I also think that Xenoblade is prime for like spin-off material. In particular, and I mentioned this before. Listen, we're getting our 3rd Hyrule Warriors game. We've had 2 Fire Emblem Warriors games. Where's our fucking Xenoblade Warriors? Right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Like, come on!
Oh, yeah.
These characters are perfect for it. They've got over-the-top weapons and animations. Fucking go!
Yeah. I am all for that. And that we got like these hyper specific. We're consistently getting hyper specific Nintendo Warriors games since Hyrule Warriors, even Fire Emblem Warriors. I mean, it's supposed to be a series catch-up, but it's really only focusing on Shadow Dragon and Awakening. It's like, okay, and then and Lynn's here
and Fates.
somehow.
Fates, you forgot Fates.
And Fates. Oh god, of course I forgot Fates. And then the Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Zelda games. I would love for a Xenoblade game to be all encompassing. Take the merging of worlds idea and expand upon it. Do characters from 1, 2, and 3 in their prime, and the future versions on top of X.
I need Little Rex and Dad Rex to meet.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
there
funny
you
because
go.
all the other like Xeno games have always like, their stories are whatever, but it's always like involving like timey-wimey people getting drawn into different like from different
Yeah,
time periods. Like they already
Yeah,
kind of did a bit of that for the
the Not on Stage or whatever the fuck he's called.
yeah, for Shulk Meeting Rex. Like they can invent something with like easily, I'm
Yeah,
sure. But after 3, I'm almost like it almost feels like can they handle it with like nuance after like how 3 felt so much of like a final note, especially with the characters like being how much gravitas was put on the character. I don't know. They could probably like easily do it.
I
I just
mean,
wonder if they out.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you look at how Hyrule Warriors and how Fire Emblem Warriors did it, like for their first games, characters were pulled from their timelines, and then they
Yeah.
went back at the end.
But that
So at
was
least
kind
they
of
could
like
do
an
a
Avenger
Pocket World.
style. That was kind of like an Avenger style team. It's like, yeah, let's take some from Fire Dragon, let's take a lot from Fates
Mm-hmm.
because they had never met
right.
before, and then like, but those are because like all, you know what? I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm sure whatever, they could do it easily, no problem.
Yeah. I do have to wonder, like you mentioned, like Xenoblade 3 feeling like, it's capping off the first three games, not counting X, of course. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't want it to be the cap off. I want more. I want a four that like. Can we get okay? The two worlds are separate again, but presumably they can still chat because Nia and Melia were already chatting before the worlds got merged together. How, I don't fucking know. They didn't explain that part. They're just like, oh yeah, we made plans. Like, okay, cool. How? I wish I knew that.
Yeah, I
But
bet they just
it's like we know like they can't all meet again, but the question we don't know is did any memories carry over? We don't know. I want a fucking answer. God damn it. Because even if they
talk to
set like a Xenoblade
hospitality.
4 like a couple hundred years in the future, even if they do that, and they just answer the question of yes, they recover the memories, maybe not like immediately, but like over the time, then we can at least assume like, okay, these characters met up again, they remembered each other, and their things were happy and good. We can at least just make that assumption. I just need the one fucking question answered.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that was like a big issue because just like a lot of people, like me included, really really wanting to know what happens after, what happens after. Although that was kind of like the theme of 3 in the sense where it's like Mobius being the sense of wanting to remain in a stasis and not wanting to like move on and you know move on from something or find growth in that sense. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting paradox where it's just like, yeah, we want to know what happens to Noah and Neo and company. Um, but do they want us to? We don't know yet.
No, they don't want us to because they don't know. That they,
Yeah.
they don't know, like they may like have an inkling of like what probably occurs, but until they actually sit down to plan a game that takes place after Xenoblade 3, they're not going to say shit because they don't want to commit to something before they're ready, which I get. But god damn it, I want to know.
If they sat down and just like they do it like the opposite of the Star Wars sequels where they just instead of doing one at a time and just not knowing what to do with it, they just pen out the entire Xenoblade 4, 5, and 6, whatever
Yeah.
that form is, and just have it all ready to go from the start.
Mm-hmm. The,
And it just
the
works. Yeah.
the other sticky part with the question of memories is we know that Xenoblade 3 takes place over countless cycles. We don't know how many cycles they all live through. Are they going to get all of those memories or just the memories of whatever life they were last in? And even if was just the life that they were last in, well, what does that mean for Noah, who has two versions of himself out there? Like, I don't think I don't remember if In's dead or not when 3 ends. I don't remember for sure, but if not, that means he would have both Noah and In memories potentially. And then what? And then it's also the hard thing. Like, what does this mean for the people outside of that cycle? Monica, Matthew.
Mhm.
What does this mean for
Yeah.
them?
Some of
Because
it was
they were the
left.
children of people that were trapped in the term cycle, but they were in the terms, or what's her face that had herself put into the term system when she wasn't in there originally? What does it mean for her?
Who was that? Sorry.
The bratty daughter who hated her mom from
Oh, Shania. Yeah,
yeah,
Shania.
yeah, Shania. I couldn't remember her name.
Yeah, a
She
lot of that was
sucked.
left. Yeah.
She was supposed to suck, but she sucked.
Piece of I can relate and understand why you did it, but it doesn't forgive what you did.
No.
So yeah, I don't know. A lot of the ending stuff in 3 was intentionally left kind of vague.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do, what their next steps are.
Yeah. So like as much as I want
Mm.
answers, like I want the instant answer. I want to know like what happens to these characters. Like I also get it's like they one, they don't know for sure, and two, they don't want to commit until they have a chance to figure out the next story themselves, which I get it.
They don't want to commit until Xenoblade Chronicles X2 is done.
X3.
X7.
Yes.
No, X3. Yeah.
Now X7 will transition the franchise into 2D instead of being 3D, like the opposite of Mega Man X. Oh shit, I'm thinking of. Wait, was it X7 that went 3D? Because I was
Oh,
thinking of the classic
they're,
games.
they're,
Was it
they're gonna do
6?
Chibi Robo Ziplash it, and they're gonna Ziplash it.
Oh no.
We're actually
No.
gonna get a Walmart
They're gonna Hey Pikmin
exclusive
it.
photo taking game.
Oh, perfect! It's gonna be just like
Photo Finder.
meeting with the characters in Fire Emblem Fates.
Yeah, X7
Ah.
is the 3D one. Yep. Okay. Good.
There you
Hey Pikmin.
go. Yeah. Hey.
I like how we went from 1 to 3 and we just skipped over 2.
Well, here's the thing about 2. Here's the thing about 2. While there are those of
Yeah.
us that do really like 2, we also are like, yeah, no, the majority of the criticism about 2 is valid, and we're not even going to try and defend it. Listen, man, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I love it, but it's a waifu simulator in a variety of
There's like-
aspects, and I can't deny it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can play with like what 100+ different waifu in that game.
Well, if you're counting the generic basic ones that aren't characters, then yeah, 100 plus. But there's
Yeah,
not 100
yeah,
plus
yeah.
like other rare blades.
Yeah, just 40+, 50+.
I'm going to look it up because I don't want your misinformation to go out there, bitch.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Eric's mom, for talking in general and in generalities. Do you know how many blades there are in Xenoblade 2 off the top of your head, Kelly?
Oh gosh. I don't know. There's like a couple DLC ones that they added.
Yeah, I'm kind of DLC in a separate number.
I want to guess somewhere
Cosmos
between.
is in there.
I want to guess somewhere between 30 and 40.
In the random drop pool, I'm only counting the random drop pool for this. There's 28.
Okay.
There are others that you can get from New Game Plus or from the story that raise the number up, and then there are the DLC ones. There's 6 DLCs. 2 of them are actually like legit Xenoblade 2 type blades. One of them is Poppy Buster, which is basically the Hulk Buster Iron Man armor, but for Poppy. And then there's Shulk, Fiora, and Elma as blades. Those don't count.
Yep.
Okay? They're honorary.
Those don't
honorary
count.
blades. Yeah.
The I Xenoblade 2 does have the benefit. All of the criticism that is that the game takes for its tone and characterization can be diluted into a singular name, Tora.
I was gonna say gotcha mechanics.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tora is definitely a
yeah,
good play. Like I think Poppy Alpha is a really good character. I like Poppy. Tora, however, bro, listen. You are. I'm not sure if you're the worst Napon in the series, but you're definitely like top 3.
They took all of the worst aspects of like criticism for Tingle and turned it into an Opon.
That's something I want to bring up actually. Now that you said that word that way, Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3, Napon. Xenoblade X, Nopon. Why? Why is the pronunciation different?
American, because it's New LA.
Yeah, that probably actually. Well, are the voice
Oh.
actors also very British in X, or are the American voice actors in X? Because the Xenoblade 1 through
They're-
3 is super British.
X is very British. Or sorry, English. No, American.
Okay, maybe that is it then.
And there you
So
go.
yeah,
There you go.
It's one of the
Any-
weird things that separates the games out. It's like, why are they pronounced differently? It's just so weird.
Any
yeah.
critique
I've
on
noticed that
Shulk's
too. It's
amiibo stand? Look at that. It's all transparent. He's walking on air.
at least it's not yellow like Link's stand.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. For the trivia page, the name of the Nopon in the English dub of X is usually pronounced Nopon, unlike Nopon in the English dub of the other games of the series. But there are
Huh.
3 characters in X who do say Nopon.
Oh,
I'm not going to say the names in case anything is spoiler related to them. And the difference is also retained by Elma in Xenoblade 2 when she makes her cameo appearance there. She will say Nopon, despite there being other American accented characters in Xenoblade 2 that say Napon,
like saying Xenoblade or
such
Xenoblade.
as Brigid.
Mhm.
Hmm. That's an interesting trivia. They can't seem to
Yeah.
make up their minds.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll make up their minds another day. Who's the worst character in each Xenoblade game?
Mumkar.
He's an asshole, yeah.
Mumkar
In
in
terms
1.
of
2
you
is...
saying worse. Sorry.
2... There's competition for 2. I would nominate either... Malos just sucks. He's not an interesting villain, let's be real. There's Tora for obvious reasons. And Amalthus also just kind of sucks.
Yeah. I was going to ask, Jono, you said worse. Do you mean in terms of how bad they are as a character, like as a person? Like how malicious they are, or how
just in
poorly they're
your
designed as a character? Because I can give you a couple poor design characters.
you can take it anywhere you want. What I was thinking was like in your opinion, the worst developed character, like just overall.
Okay, so you know how
Or the most
Xenoblade
annoying.
Definitive, you know the Future Connected, the little
Yeah.
add-on story for So Elgar, he's this Hyantia half-breed Hyantia, kind of like Melia with the short wings.
Mm-hmm.
He
Oh.
remember him?
Yeah, he
He was
sucks.
counter-racist, and then he just like tried to kill a kid, and then he just fell off a cliff and died at the end, like Skelgar.
Yeah.
Nothing. Zero. At least Tora, you can appreciate his ingenuity and his willingness to assist the cast. At least he has that going for them. Gelgar has zero.
Yeah, he also
There's
just has a
none.
punchable face.
He looks like he's got the squinty eyes like Brock
Yeah.
or Henry from Fire Emblem, where he just like, how do you see out of those things? And then he gets like one scene where he's really upset and his eyes open. He's like Bridget, except not
There
great.
are
Yeah, but we like Bridget.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple of really annoying consoles in 3 as well.
Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Jay is the worst character in 3. Who's the... I think it's X is the other one I'm trying to think of. The one that, like, does the resurrections. No, I don't think it's X. Who the fuck? I looked up concepts. It's like, I don't remember you. Who the fuck are you? I don't remember this character design in the slightest. Oh, because that's a picture of her without the mask. That does it. Which...
There you
The
go.
one that does the resurrections. Why?
I can't remember.
I think it's Y.
Why? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he
with
sucks.
Mike Lee. Yeah.
He has a big
Bad guy
head.
because bad guy.
Who is the best console in Xenoblade 3?
Oh gosh.
That is a correct answer.
Are you gonna say console
Man
U?
of the Sea, Sucker Punch. Triton, baby.
Yeah! Hell yeah, it is! Hell yeah, it is! The pirate that joins your party, but using his class is actually ass. Because you have to
Yeah.
defeat the unique monster. It's like, oh, no. No, thank you.
Potentially the most broken class in the game, but you have to go way out of your way to get all the little abilities for it and customize
Yeah.
it, and it's just
And to be fair, if they're gonna give me a class that is like supremely broken, I should have to go out of my way to fucking work for it. To be fair, but I don't wanna. Shania is console S. What? All right. Well, there's another contender for worst.
Yeah. J. Oh my god, I hate console J. First of all, he
my
gives
god.
my abbreviation a bad name. Secondly, I don't sympathize with his backstory at all. It's like you died multiple times and felt left behind, so you became an asshole. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
became
well,
Joker.
go
Third of
die.
all, his design as console J is such ass. It's like, okay, we have Frodo the Jester.
Yeah.
I mean, Jay Jester. There you go.
I mean, yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
what they were going for. But like his his walking ambition is just like, what the fuck is this? Go back to school, child.
Yeah.
I think it's tough when, yeah, like when you take a character that like has done like so many bad things, aren't like whether their backstory justifies it or not, and then they do all these bad things, and then they have one moment of clarity at the end, right before they die, and you're expected to kind of forgive them for all the bad things they've done.
No.
I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't work for me.
There's the Star Wars parallel again. Console J is
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, I was gonna say Severus Snape.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't give a shit if he right at the end said some nice things. He was still a piece of shit.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't really outweigh the
No.
bad that they've done.
End of the day, Snape's still a bad guy. He did good things,
An
but he's still a
an
bad
intriguing
person.
character. An intriguing
Sure,
character
sure.
to be sure. Which is more than I can say for Jay, because Jay was just like, well, we're gonna
Yeah.
just. I got killed a lot, and I hate that, and I didn't like that. So, and I mean, I can kind of understand what they were going for, because like an eternity of just dying over and over because you weren't good enough. That's a great impetus for like a tragic villain, maybe. But just the execution was not it. So
Yeah, instead of tragic, it was like just pathetic. It was pretty bad.
I think 3 just had too many villains.
Every letter of the alphabet.
But they weren't. But all but one of them were in the base game. Actually, oh no, we all assumed that A was going to be like A, but there actually is no console A.
Interesting. Maybe there will be in Xenoblade X2.
That maybe I'm not gonna. They also some of them had really dumb masks too. Like, okay, it's like you're trying to make them all unique, sure, but what the fuck's going on with W? What the fuck's going on with V and U? Like, Jesus, come on.
I can't even remember a lot.
L at least looks cool.
There was one that looks like Dementia or like the sun from Mario Party 6. I don't remember which one that was.
Oh yeah, there was like a Medusa one, a Jackal Anubis one, kinda.
Yeah. L was the Jackal. R I think R was the Medusa. No. Past R is the Medusa. What the fuck is the other R? There's 2 R's. Don't know why.
The other R is kind of Anubis-y, it looks like.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. Okay, cool.
O is an owl head.
Yeah, a lot of different like so many to the point where it's hard to distinctively remember each one, like chess piece head or whatever. I don't know.
Right. Oh God.
So
Yeah, I
many.
forgot that O can keep his mask on any day. That's fine. Okay. um I know we meandered the topics meandered back into mainline Xenoblade, but we talked a lot about Shulk's representation in Smash, and I'm
Oh yeah.
curious about Kelly's thoughts and everybody else's thoughts on Pyra and Mithra. And then I also guess the stages like the Cloud Sea of Allrest and Gower Plain, Metal Face being a boss, like every element of Xenoblade and Smash. What are we thinking? I I guess I'll start. I think Gower Plain, when it first it came out of Shulk stage, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. But the layout is so unique, and I think that it's an acquired taste for a lot of people, especially with the Metal Face boss. But I think they executed Metal Face quite well, um, all in all, and I like Gower Plain for the most part, with and without the boss hazard. Um, yeah, my first little coin in the bucket, I guess.
Yeah, I had to look it up. The guy who voices Metal Face, Timothy Watson, you can tell he loves voicing Metal Face. He just
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
relishes
Hector
that
Ronge.
evilness. Hope I'm not
That's
interrupting.
Listen, I've said it
Yeah,
before,
right.
but evil and crazy characters are the single most fun to voice. Because you can just go ham on that shit.
Like Iago
I mean,
from
Iago is just Gilbert Gottfried's voice. So,
yeah,
it's not really any different.
yeah.
But like Jafar's voice, you can do some fun things with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so um, it was interesting because Gower Plain, or Bionis Leg technically, but Gower Plain was one of those stages that was in both 3DS and Wii U, even though they were kind of trying to divvy up the, home
Mm-hmm.
console on Wii U, handheld games on 3DS.
Yeah.
They said, well, it's on 3D, new 3DS, so let's just put it on both and make it a little smaller, whatever. So we'll
I
just cram it into 3DS.
If I remember correctly, I think
Mm-hmm.
like for the most part, the stages that were different were kind of divided up into like what games are on which console. But since Xenoblade
Mm-hmm.
was on both Wii U and 3DS, or I'm not sure if the 3DS version was out yet, but it would have been in that planning at least. So it's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, have it be on both. That makes sense. But then also like by the end of DLC, a lot of the stages that were exclusive to just one platform or the other got moved to the other side as to be shared as well. So they were like, I think by the end of it, there weren't that many stages that were different between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't super comment too much on Shulk's on how he was translated into Smash because I don't really. Uh, like I remember there being some moves like there were some things that were invented, but I can't speak too much on that. In Gower Plain, Smash a lot of times likes it doesn't not always, but a lot of times likes to pick like an early location, something that like
Yeah.
anybody that more people are going to recognize than like an in-game location. And Gower Plains was a good choice. Like, it looks really nice, and consider that they were wanting to make like this big boss battle place. Like, okay, yeah, they got a big group of space in here. And I think the important thing with Gower Plains stage is like being able to fight on top of those two large grassy arches. If you don't have that, then what's the point of it being Gower Plain? Honestly, it's just like
Mm-hmm.
a regular grass stage at that point. But
Right.
they had that
Right.
there. I do think maybe it could have been smaller a bit, or maybe like less tall is what I kind of mean. But yeah, whatever. Xenoblade 2, I kind of already mentioned this. Cloud Sea of Walrus was always going to be the stage. If they didn't
Mm-hmm.
already have Gower Plane, then Gormott could have been a consideration because Gormott is the Gower Plane of Xenoblade 2. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
nah, Cloud Sea of Walrus.
Yeah.
Easily,
Yeah.
obviously, had to be. If it was going to be any other place, Morardane, maybe? Maybe? Because it's
Definitely
visually
iconic.
different quite a bit from Gower Plane. The most visually different if we're not going to go to Temperentia, which is definitely spoiler territory. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as like how Pyra and Mithra work, I'm pretty satisfied with how they work in Smash. They're not like perfect matches, but very few games are easy to get a perfect match. Oh God. Um, and I think they play fun. I enjoy using them.
Mm-hmm.
Shulk,
Yeah,
I don't play nearly as much, but when I do, I pretty much backslash, backslash, backslash.
Yeah, it was always going to be Cloud Sea of Walrus. You are correct. If it's one of those things, just kind of like how the Xenoblade One stage was always going to be Gower Plain. Like you have this JRPG setting, and sure, Sword Valley or Aerith Sea or whatever would have been more interesting inherently. But Gower Plain being like the grassy, the opening area of the JRPG, it makes sense as an archetypal thing to include in a game like Smash. And they did it well. They did it capturing the unique geography of Gower Plain, and so you're right there. And it's a fine stage. I personally enjoy it a lot. Cloud Sea of Walrus, far less interesting, like in terms of the topography. Obviously, it's a fairly small stage, even though Gramps is a very large individual. But I like it, and I like the quips that you get from Azurta from time to time. I like his animations, and I like what you're seeing in the background as you fly along. And yeah, if there were going to be another Xenoblade 2 stage, maybe it could be like the colony crabbing pit, where you just jump down and there's crabbles crawling around, and Rex is down there like searching for things to scavenge. You can climb back up with him. And then anyway, I reverberate Xantox's thoughts on Pyra and Mithra. You know, it was a mild surprise that Rex wasn't included, but I'm okay with it. Like if I were to have to, I think it's a nuanced conversation. But if I were to have to just strictly agree or disagree with Sakurai's choice, I would be more in the agree camp. It's like, okay, the blade being the arbiter of most of the attacks, it's like, okay, let's just include them. And plus, they're important to the story, yada yada. So, not like they're nobodies.
Well, I was going to save this question for later, but I guess I'll ask it now. Let's say the next Smash game adds some amount of new characters and stages from the Xenoblade franchise. What are some characters and stages that you might like to see from each game? You don't have to limit yourself to just one, like one character. But if there's like multiple stages that you think would be cool, what other stages do you think would be cool to add for the next game? Like for me, from Xenoblade One, I like RFC as an option. I think Sword Valley as like the Mechanicide would be great. Character wise, both Melia and Fiora would be cool picks, but I gotta go with Fiora for obvious reasons. Xenoblade
Mm-hmm.
2, I think Lotharia would be fun. World Tree, I made a stage of the World Tree, like you basically have like a tour of the battle going on behind you the whole time. As far as like the
Mm-hmm.
next character, I think the two better options are Poppy or Blade Nia. And I lean Blade Nia. Xenoblade 3, well, we don't even have a character or stage from them yet, and there's so many options. We've debated in the past with Noah and Mio about which one of them is playable, and I kind of go back and forth depending on the day on like which one I think it should be. They're both like Noah is the main character, and he's got his special sword, but Mio has the more unique weapons with her rings. And a stages,
Mm-hmm.
you could do Origin, you could do a flying stage around. I can never remember the fucking name of it, but the sword that's the secret base for the numbers or what the fuck they're called, the lost numbers. Or you could do like that opening battlefield at the beginning of the game, or we just be like in front of the Agnian Castle. A lot of cool locations there.
Mm-hmm.
Xenoblade 3 I can't comment on. Otherwise, beyond I'll say Elma over Cross, please, and then stages. I mean, I remember the name New Los Angeles. I don't remember the name of any other place. So that's all I'll say there.
That's probably a safe bet for the stage.
Also, Laura and Jin as a
Mm-hmm.
duo would be fun. But considering that they nixed Rex and Pyra as a duo, Laura and Jin ain't happening. But maybe solo Jin.
Laura, Jin, and Hayes as a trio.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Yeah.
No, just because they are the three. Like you switch
Yeah.
between. Hayes is busted because of 5 seconds.
She
He's the
is.
enemy for 5 seconds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, John. What would you like to add to anything?
What would I like to add to the Blade and the Smash Brothers?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of this I agree with Zantok on. Like, it's Fiora or Melia for sure. Both would be very interesting. Mylene is Fiora, but I'd be happy with either. Uh, Aerith Sea, I think, is an easy aesthetic choice for Xenoblade 1. Like, it's a gorgeous area. It would be cool to see that translated into Smash. Xenoblade 2, I mean, more Ardain. Like traveling, through the lower and upper levels, have it be that sort of stage. It would be pretty neat to see translated. Character wise, yeah, I would agree. Like, again, like if it's not Laura and Jen, it's Jen. Like, who else would it be? Poppy. I mean, Poppy's another choice. Um, Other than that, it would feel a little out of place to have anyone else. Xenoblade 3, you listed a lot of great ideas. I was thinking Agnes Castle is probably like the event-centric location or the battlefield from the opening of the game. Or the events theater could be a fun one.
Oh yeah,
Just to toss something else out there.
that'd
This
be an
is
interesting
technically
one.
another spot. Yeah, I mean, this is technically another spot where you can be like, oh hey, we can have Melia represent Xenoblade 3.
You could. Both her
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Nia are playable in 3.
Yeah, yeah, and Nia. Oh my god, I forgot Nia for 2. Okay, she's my choice for 2. Jesus, um, yeah. So hooray! But I would pick Mio. You and I had this discussion not that long ago on the podcast, actually, where we both kind of agreed that we would choose Mio over Noah if we had to go one direction. Just with the design of the character, the background of the character, as well as just having the chakrams as the main thing. It's like, okay, that would be unique and cool.
Or
Um,
to
yeah,
represent Xenoblade Chronicles 3, we could have Rex.
yeah,
I'll show
yeah.
up a thing or three.
Dual wielding Daddy Rex. Let's fucking go.
Breaks the game in half. Yeah.
um,
He finally
Fiora,
got his chance. Another day.
Poppy, and Mio for me because I wouldn't have Nia and Mio. Okay, there you go.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you guys pretty much summed it up all up. If I were just to add the stage selection from 1, and to an extent from Future Redeemed, would be Prison Island over Earthsea, is absolutely for story reasons, and just because it actually looks like a floating stage, textbook floating stage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for 3, I think I would have. I think, well, assuming that the next Smash is going to include Noah, Mio. I think the ethos. I think if you were gonna pick one or the other, I'd rather have Mio just for uniqueness. Throwing chakrams,
Mm-hmm.
here you go. Me sword fighters got some competition there, but just like the ethos of like you can't have they are interlinked. It'd be great if they could kind of combine them in some fashion. How you do that? That it isn't Pyramithra Switch. I'm not sure. I don't think it would be Ice Climbers, but never know.
Yeah.
But just some way to kind of have them both together in some fashion, whether that's together in a move set as one character or together in 2 different move sets. I'm not sure. Be curious to see. That'll be a head scratcher for the dev team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Ta-da!
Yeah. So many stages you could pick from.
Yeah, and assist trophies. Every blade.
No, we don't need Dahlia. We don't need Dahlia. We don't need Boreas. We don't need what's the other one I don't want? There's a few that's like, no, get the fuck out.
Finch? Newt? I wouldn't mind Finch as an assist trophy. She'd just be like forgetting to attack people half the time and just feeling like, huh? What? Oh yeah.
Sheba, get Sheba out. No, that's the other one.
Oh, in Smash, you have a choice for Xenoblade boss. Who would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Stage boss or
Oh.
classic mode boss?
Classic mode boss.
Hmm.
Do I want to double down on Xenoblade 1 is my question, because the first character thought it was Xenoblade 1.
Yeah.
I don't remember their
for
name,
it.
however, so I have to look things up.
You could make an argument for Consul D in his interlinked form.
Yeah, good.
It's a wild ride, this passage of fate. Be a big guy.
Yep.
Because yeah, you'd probably want something like, I mean, you already got Gallium as your big like metal machine man guy.
Mhm.
Hmm. Maybe the giant what's Poppy's sister? Lila? The giant Lila boss from 2?
Is it
Ultra
Lila?
or like Giga
Yeah,
Lila?
it's Lila. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lila the Lustrous. What the name?
That was a boss, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Zanza.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
Yes.
that to me,
Absolutely.
that's the logical choice. Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm picking a classic mode boss, I'm picking Zanza.
That's a
He'd
great
be a
choice.
Taboo clone.
Either that, or uh,
Yeah.
make sure I got the right name. Yeah, Artemis Ion, the final boss of
Oh yeah.
Xenoblade 2, which is technically Malus piloting it. But Malus himself as the boss would just be boring. But Artifice Ion, the big giant fucking mecha, just
Would be cool.
it's perfect to
Would
be
be
like
cool.
just behind a Final Destination like stage. Boom, there you go.
Right, and Malos is. I agree. He's not very interesting character, but he is an important character, like Malos, Numa, Alvis.
Yeah.
So there's your way to represent him. Boom, there you go. Alvis can be a Shulk Echo.
Honestly, he could. We've talked about
Yeah.
echoes in the past multiple episodes. Just like
Yeah.
Shulk's best like some people were like, "Oh, Malus could be a Shulk echo." They both use Malus. Like, no, if Shulk's
But
gonna be an
Malice is
echo, it's
like way
Alvis.
bigger. Yeah. Yeah, Alvis as a stronger Shulk Echo, and Dunban as Shulk's Pichu Echo.
I mean, yeah, that tracks.
Some guy gets some
Yeah.
interesting techniques. He's got the electric gut buster, which is just a kick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know, that's a tough one
Captain
for
Falcon
bosses
Echo.
because I always thought it was funny whenever the main party would fight like just like Metal Face without his suit, and it's just like 3 people gang up on this one dude that's just messing around. It's like you can't take this
Yeah.
guy. He's just one dude with claws. He's not a
Yeah.
giant
Yeah.
monster
Yeah.
like metal robot. He's just one
Yeah.
guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what they said about Wolverine versus Mooncar.
Mooncar
Territorial
would die in a
Rot
second.
Yep. Territorial Rotbart. There's my choice since you already said Zanza.
Oh yeah.
Coming
From
soon to the Smash
one or
Tokyo.
two.
Chairman Banna.
Yeah, that Airman Banna. Is that another Gogol?
That's a no pun Lord, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the guy who sends Rex with
Yeah, I
Malos.
remember. Yeah, he's the
It's
guy
like
who's
how-
like meh.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy.
Every game in the series has a Vandam, good guy, and a Banna, bad guy. And it's
Is there
different
a-
incarnation.
Is there a
Oh,
Banna
yeah.
in 3 or X? Because I'm only seeing entries for 1 and 2.
I'm not sure if there's one in X yet.
Apparently, Territorial Rotbart's only in 1 and 2 as well. That's a
Yeah,
shame.
but there is a Gogol in each game. It's just a different name.
Mhm. Yeah.
Jingoistic Gigantor is the 3-1.
Yeah, I made an
Again.
enemy submission for Territorial Rotbart on Smashtopia a year or two
Yeah.
ago.
Oh, and Immovable Gonzalez. What a fucking name.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a name. Oh my
Gonzalez is
gosh.
great.
He's just sleeping there in this image, like Snorlax, but not Snorlax. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I
In
love
1, he
those
just
guys.
stands there, and then 3, he's
Mhm.
just sleeping like a Snorlax. That's a good comparison.
Yeah. Could we get a Gogol as a playable character in Smash?
No.
Maybe
We're
an
okay.
enemy. 'cause
We
I don't think,
already have Donkey Kong.
Yeah, but Donkey Kong
Huh?
went through a redesign. We need a grotesquely realistic ape to join us now.
Jono, that wouldn't be a bad suggestion as an enemy, because I know like Xenoblade
Oh,
didn't really have anything for like enemies in Smash Run. It didn't have like
Hmm.
Mechon or anything like that.
I would add
So
the
maybe
Yeah,
bunnets. If I had to
yeah.
pick
the
one
Bonnet, yeah,
enemy from Xenoblade to be like a Smash type enemy, I picked the bunnets.
that'd be a good one.
Hmm.
Club wielding
Yeah,
bunnies.
yeah, yeah.
So much you can pull
Mechon would
from.
be too, but then Shulk would be the only one who could KO them.
That'd be warriors, just a whole screen of bunnets.
You know that would be the case.
There it is.
I mean, they would absolutely be one of the Mook enemies in a Xenoblade Warrior games. You'd have the bunnets, and then you'd have the mechons, and then I really don't know after that. Crabbles actually aren't a bad choice.
Hmm.
Yeah, you got flammies, you got the apies, you got those kind of deer-like things with the
Oh yeah, yeah.
silver blade head thingies. There's so
Hmm.
many you could pull from.
Yeah, you do, and
You need a guidebook,
there's
like
like
a
what
field guide.
Dragonfly. They should make that. They could publish it with the people who published Hyrule Historia. Why not?
Yeah, Dark Horse.
Hmm. Oh, that's right. That's who they are.
I'd totally buy that. Yeah.
Me too. Oh, and there's that one chapter in Xenoblade 1 where you're just fighting spiders. They can have the spiders be enemies.
Oh yeah, the Antles.
Yeah, good times. It's like Spide Ups.
The
That
one
one
that's
part
like,
in Xenoblade 2 where it's like, all right, cool, I
yep.
fell into this hole. Oh,
Yep. Yep.
Dun, dun, dun,
okay.
dun, dun.
And then you walk a little bit farther, and just like from the fucking sky, the boss spider shows up. Like,
Yep.
okay,
It's that
fuck
one
you.
episode of The Mandalorian all over again.
I don't remember this episode. I do not want to remember this episode.
Yeah, the ice
Yeah.
spider. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that reminds me of a scene from one. I know, John, Lister, you said you're watching one.
No,
John, I
I
don't know if you
have
have
watched one. I watched one years ago.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's a part where you're just out in the open on Garplay, and there's like this sort of like, I think it's like the Giants pedestal or something like that, and there's like one of those red glowy like key items at the end. You're like, oh, okay, I'll go pick it up, and you walk down, and you grab it, and as soon as you touch it, these giant feelers come over the edge, and there's a giant Antle boss that you have to fight, or not boss, like a big enemy. And then Shulk actually remarks on that later on in Future Redeemed. When you find that same spot kind of mismatched in the overworld, he's like, "Oh dear, I'm not really feeling that memory."
Oh my god.
They remember, they
Wow.
know their stuff, Monolith. I like that.
They know their
Mhm.
trauma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never let you
Yeah.
forget.
Because each game likes to traumatize us in different ways.
Hmm. And then I don't know, to curtail this discussion, I do think, a brief acknowledgement that Xenoblade was born out of Xenosaga and earlier Xenogears, and we went from time traveling with Jesus to here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Congratulations
To
to everyone with a
parallel
legacy.
worlds because the scientists decided, fuck it.
Yep.
This life sucks. Blow it
Yep.
all up. Oh god, what have I done to myself? I regret
my God,
everything.
what have I done?
Turned himself into some floating guy in an alternate universe.
With half a body.
Yep. Good times.
The
That was so
artifact
bad.
looking,
Yeah.
even the artifact
Yeah.
looking like a cross. There's definitely like,
Mhm.
it's not very subtle, is it?
No. But happening upon the architect in Xenoblade 2 was like an epic moment. You're like, oh shit,
Oh,
like
yeah.
this stuff is finally starting to. I didn't expect there to be a connecting thread.
Did you expect to
like,
see
oh, there you
Cosmos and Tielos?
Yes. No.
No, because no one ever lucky enough to summon them.
Bitch, I got
Oh,
every
right.
single fucking blade up the Maxwell. Eat your shit.
Most people then. You maxed out your luck stat.
No, I just got lucky.
Oh,
I
The
farmed
blade.
fucking cores.
Yep.
I wanted to have all of them and complete all of their stories. Because I hate myself.
Major power to you, man. I'm not strong enough. I could barely do
People
Ursula's
outside-
quest.
Ursula's is rough because it takes a long time, just like in-game hours. You have to just have the game be on for Ursula.
Yep.
I don't think you have to be on, but like real world time has to pass for her stuff to unlock. It's like, come on.
Mhm. Tedious.
You have to be you have to be prepared for Ursula.
They prepared for what? Sorry.
For
It's
Ursula.
Little Mermaid.
Yeah. Cheers.
Oh, that Ursula. Yeah, how far we've come. Like it's all and I think it was originally, wasn't the original Xenogears supposed to be Final Fantasy VII? Like that was what
Oh,
it was.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Not really, but like some of the like they were tossing around a lot of different ideas for Seven, obviously like you do with any game. And some of the rejected ideas were taken and became Xeno.
Right. I just read about that in the RPG book that I've been neglecting reading for 2 years. And I didn't realize that Vagrant Story was took place in Ivalice either. I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
Vagrant Story, the Tactics, and 12 are all take place in Ivalice, just at different periods in time.
That's
So
interesting.
there's big time jumps in between, so they never cross over. Really, yeah, sure. Balthier is in the remake for Tactics, but he's a guest character. And he took over Cloud's guest character slot. Not canon, but
yeah.
A lot of interconnectedness there.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting how different like there's been a long history of stuff from Japan game development getting censored in the East because of religious symbolism and folklore stuff. They just don't care. They'll just be like, yeah, we'll just have people like getting like blown the stuff.
here's Jesus Christ in our sci-fi fantasy games. Like,
Jesus,
what?
here's Mary Magdalene in a robot suit, or the soul of Mary Magdalene in a robot suit, or whatever.
Yeah.
And her boobs shoot lightning.
I do want to play. I can never remember which one between Xenosaga and Xenogears. I can never keep the two straight on which ones are which. The Cosmos games. I want to play those at some point, but they're not very accessible. So like, hey, yeah, it's not on a modern console at all. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah. It would be cool to see Cosmos in Smash, but we need to hit that re-release schedule first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's PS. It's never released outside of the PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no, it's on DS. I don't want to do the DS version though.
Yes, really?
Yeah, Xenosaga 1 and 2 got ported together.
Oh,
Odd.
interesting. Huh.
But like, obviously, it looks very different.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be an ordeal to play it in that version.
Yeah.
Right. I would assume so.
Because it almost feels like this could have like that Switch effect where it's like it almost feels like it could be one of those surprise like now you can play the entire trilogy of Xenosaga on Switch available next week. It's just like it feels like it's like 2 steps away from just all the like the little drops of exposure it's gotten from appearing like cameoing in Project Cross Zone 2 and then Xenoblade Chronicles DLC and just all the little things. Like it's a paper trail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, and Monolith made it, but I don't think I think Namco's supposed to actually own Xenosaga, and I think Square owns Xenogears.
Right. Yeah.
It's a mess. It's all over. But
yeah,
they're all Xeno.
They're all Xeno.
What a family tree.
Mm-hmm.
What a crazy family tree.
Yeah. What's your favorite quote from a character in Xenoblade?
You're done.
Oh.
Who says that?
I don't know his name, but I see him everywhere.
You talking the grunts or Captain Padraig?
I
mean, I was talking the grunts, but yeah, Padraig does say those too.
Yeah.
I will admit that for some.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go on.
No. Sorry. That's tough. I don't know what my favorite quote is right off the bat. Probably something either from like one has a lot of great one-liners, and little like quotable scenes. Like there's even some good like people will take like clips and just like make YTPs of them. But
Mhm.
three's got a lot of good like long-term prose, like the ending speech from Noah, and a lot of like the little like the heroes moments that you get. Chapter 5, pretty much all of it. Uh, yeah, it's tough.
My favorite quotes are it's either "I swear we'll make it through this" or "You need support, I'm your guy."
Which ones are those from? Sorry.
Well, there's a tragic irony to "I swear we'll make it through this" because it's said by Mwamba right before the mysterious giant kills him.
Ah,
And he just wanted to retire. He's a good soldier.
still not over that. What a
So
But he,
tragedy.
I mean, he does get his chance another day.
this isn't really like a favorite quote or thing, but this is a funny moment that I like from too. Who
Yeah.
remembers Dougal?
Good old
Uh,
Dougal.
So
kind of.
Dougal, he's hunting down the
Oh God, yeah,
Idris.
that guy.
And at one point, like, he's sending people out to go find them. Tells you, like, hey, yeah, here's the color of the core crystal to go look for. And people, I don't remember the exact like why he gets into this yelling match, but he ends up saying, like, yelling at Padre, like, Emerald is green, you
Oh,
fucking
green.
idiot.
Yeah,
Like,
I was good.
that
That's what I
looks
was gonna
so
mention.
funny.
Oh, green. Yes, I remember. I get it now. And he just like smashes a bottle over his head. Is he the
It's
guy
so
with
good.
the really chunky? Does he have the really chunky blade that you never get to like play as or summon?
Dougal? Yeah,
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Domes. Yeah.
yeah. That's
It
right.
looks
That's
like
right.
a what's the word I want to use?
Like a tea kettle,
No,
like
a
an Iron
golem. It
Giant.
looks
Looks
like a
like him,
golem.
but
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Looks like BioShock Big Daddy.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, fun little kind of minor antagonist right at the beginning with
Yeah,
good voice acting.
why was that not a New Game Plus played? Honestly, should have
Yeah.
been.
A bit. Poppy
Dougal
Buster
yells
replaced his
pineapple
job.
when using his
I for,
grenade.
McDougal.
Kind
Dougal
of the
fights the
Oliver,
Googles.
yeah, kind of the Oliver Fire Emblem of Xenoblade, I guess, in a way, though less developed.
Um, I'm not sure if you guys had any topics to bring up next, but one that I was going to float was the casts, comparing
mm.
the main party members between games.
Uh Ryan annoys me.
What?
Yeah, I'll fucking say it. Ryan
No.
annoys me.
No. It's
On
Ryan,
Charlotte,
baby.
from what I remember, Charlotte didn't feel like there was much going on besides Juju and then her being paired up with Ryan, so she kind of there's a disservice there. Tora sucks, but the rest of Xenoblade 2's cast is great.
Mhm.
3, Tyon, and like he has an arc, but other than that, like he's kind of there. I feel like same with Lons in a way, like he's kind of there.
Mhm.
Cinna doesn't have a whole lot going on, but at least like her personality is always just apparent. And then there's Uni,
Right.
who's the only one outside the main two that like feels like they're always doing something. Like
Mhm.
really, I was actually wait, hold on. Is Tyon the only one outside of Noah and Mew to have an arc in 3? I think he is.
I think Uni's is all about coming to terms with like her former self, like the shell that she's left behind and
Oh, I
overcoming like that
forgot
kind of
about that. Where she finds like her former dog tags or some shit.
yeah.
That was like our
I'll
first.
give
I
you
think that was our first hint of like like previous lives.
yeah, that
Right.
was really something. That was chilling.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that. It's been a while, but I don't remember Lounge having anything, and I don't remember Cinna having anything.
I'll give you Senna because I think a lot of people kind of comment on that her you know how they all have their own kind of individual missions, like
Yeah,
story mission. Senna's is basically
it's that.
all
It's that
about
deal. It's that optional character. Um,
who do you mean? Sorry.
I'm trying to remember who. Like the one that the class that you can unlock where like she's in a mech and she like has new memories or something.
Oh, Sagiri?
Yeah.
No, no, well, yes, but that's not what I meant. Her arc is basically focused on Shania when she gets resurrected
Mm,
and her dynamic with Gondor, and Senna's kind of backseated in her own quest, unfortunately. But yeah.
forgot Gondor.
Um,
Gondor is great. Gondor is the best
the
non-party
Dags!
member. She's the best non-party member in 3, easily.
Bit of a potty
Who's
mouth,
with
and
her
maybe
own?
she needs to respect her mama, but overall, yeah, she's great. Scrappy. And Lance, I like Lance. He's the straight man in a crazy world. He gets little moments, like he's got a good moment with Mio when like they're making tea. They're just chatting,
Mhm.
and but I will admit that I think so much focus is on the main Noah and Mio that the others feel a bit backseated. But I think it's great that they took the time to kind of introduce the full cast so early, because other games will have be
Yeah.
like you meet the next character and then they have a little arc, then you meet the next character and they have an arc, and it's like those last characters are getting way shafted.
Yeah, common
Mhm.
JRPG character recruitment structure. And some games can do it really well. Then some games, Persona 5, Haru gets a real disservice to her.
Ugh.
She's barely in the game because she's introduced far too late. Royal tries to fix it a bit, but like introducing her sooner is like you just meet her a couple times as an NPC before she's properly introduced. But man, base
Mhm.
P5 Haru is way too late. Like Persona 4 has a character that gets recruited like at a similar period of the game, but you meet them a lot sooner and you meet them several times and you can tell that they're already important. You just don't know they're gonna be playable yet.
Right.
I actually think Xenoblade 2 might have the strongest overall main cast, despite being perhaps the weakest game.
It,
With the
the
exception
problem,
of Tora, who brings
yeah.
things down.
The sad thing is like they're all great except for Tora, who's really not great. It's like we're really
Mhm.
lowering the average here, Tora. But
Yeah,
like
right.
Nia is like, and Dromark is he's kind of there. He's kind of there.
Mhm.
But Morag and Bridget are both great. Nia is a top pick.
Yeah.
Zeke and
Poppy is
Pandoria.
really good. Yeah, Zeke is great. Like I feel like I wanted to ask this earlier too. Like with us getting Pirate and Mithra and not Rex, do we feel like we've set a standard for Xenoblade 2 characters? Like if we were to get a second one in Smash, does that have to be a Blade since we've already established no driver with Pirate and Mithra, or are they a special case because of Aegis? But Zeke, I feel like you could have him without his blade. Zeke's just Zeke, and he will just beat people up.
Zekeinator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I love the
Yeah.
character. Oh, sorry, John, go ahead.
No, I don't know if there's a standard. I feel like we might just get anything from 2. Could be Turters.
No, it's not going to be Turters. Turters is the final smash for Zeke.
Oh, right. Yeah, true.
Handling a man's turtle. Yeah, it's great when they can have a character like Zeke is so great because he's like,
He
well,
plays.
no, I guess
He
he's
and
like the
again, like
Ryan.
he's the last character that joins your party, but you meet him at multiple points, and before that point, like he's kind of like the typical, oh, this is the doofus we encountered multiple times. We beat him, we show him up, and we send him packing. And then he always acts like he's better than us. Like, okay, yeah, I see you. I know this kid. Wait, you're joining me? Hold up, that's a twist.
Those two were like
Mhm.
Team Rocket in a sense, where just they
Yeah.
kept getting like blasted off into the distance.
Mm-hmm. Zeke and
Just being able
Pandoria are
to,
just fun. Like Zeke's a better character than Pandoria, but Pandoria is a fun presence.
Mhm.
they really are.
She's
It's great when
very
like you have a
animated.
character goofy on the surface, but there's a lot of inner turmoil below the two of them.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Zeke not wanting to be a prince and just having to shoulder all these princely duties, and his dad's doing
Yeah.
some sketchy shit behind the scenes, and his own country's falling into decay. And then Pandoria or Pandy, how like she doesn't want to she's having an existential crisis because she really likes Zeke and doesn't want to like lose all her memories of him. And yeah, it's just
and
a
then
lot.
the twist of him being a blade eater,
That
Mhm.
too. That too.
which pairs against Nia. Trying to remember exactly what she's. I think flesh eater. Yeah, she's a
Up here?
flesh eater. It's like you have the
Right.
two of them as mirror opposites of each other.
Yeah.
Interesting class
Yes.
dynamics and two.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
honestly,
Zeke and
I wrote.
Pandoria are great.
Yeah,
No, sorry, go ahead.
and also just like say like battle system wise, I think too that people will disagree with me, but I like two's combat system a lot. I like it a lot better than one's. Three's is basically an evolution off of two's, in my opinion, and it feels like they just abandoned the combat system from one entirely. But I like how two works with its combat. Torna refines it, and Xenoblade
Mm,
3
mm.
takes a lot of it and then adds in a couple Xenoblade 1 things, but it's mostly Xenoblade 2's combat system.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah,
matches
there are
its
a
theme. Yeah.
few early techniques from Xenoblade 1 in like the early game of 3, but yeah, otherwise.
I think two is
What's
great.
X's? Sorry.
Oh, so yeah, I'll talk about X's in a sec, but I think
Mhm.
two's system is great once it clicks because they do not do a good job explaining it in the game. The tutorials are not
Oh,
great.
yeah, the 2 has such shit tutorials. Oh my
Here's how you play
god.
it. I
And
hope you
sometimes
figure
they'll
it out.
tell you something that's just like completely wrong. It's like, here's the
Yeah.
optimal way to do this mechanics. Like, actually, no, you shouldn't do that at all. It's like, oh.
And you
Yeah.
can never review that again. Like, what were they thinking? Like,
Yeah.
here it is on screen, how to play, but not quite, and it's not everything you need. All right, go to it.
Yep.
You want to review how to play? Sorry. So, for Jono, you asked about X. So X's
Yeah,
system
yeah.
on the surface is very similar to one's with the refilling circles. I'm very miffed that they got rid of. So one, I know a lot of people don't like cycling like left and right to select an art. I don't mind it. With one, you could press up to just instantly snap to the center. So if you're like all the way on the left, you could like hit up and you're in the center, and then you could go to the right instead of having to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because you don't doesn't wrap around. X got rid of that, being able to press up to go to the center, and I don't know why because it works so great with one, and it desperately needed it in one. And now X, you just have to go left, 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 A, and you can really feel it there. I
E-
don't know why they got rid of that.
Even in the definitive edition?
Even in
That's
the yeah,
odd. That's odd.
there's a few other things I won't get into, but yeah. But X
Uh,
has a new yeah.
no, go on. X has the new.
X has a couple new or X has a couple additional gameplay or battle features. One of them is called the Soul Voice system. And Soul Voices, it took me a bit to figure out, but they're basically little speech bubbles that your party members make at certain times of the battle. So say a character will manage to land a crit on an enemy and they'll say, use melee attacks, this'll weaken them or this'll break them, and it'll be orange. So if you use an art that's orange, which is usually like a specific attack that does something like a melee attack, that'll inflict break, for instance, on the or they call it stagger in X. But it'll basically be beneficial, and that's also how you heal because there's no strictly any healers. So you heal a little damage and you have a beneficial effect, and also adds tension. There's a few other things, but the soul voices you basically be wanting to kind of do whatever you can at any given moment. And there's also a way to kind of activate arts that have been used up and are still on cooldown. You can instantly reuse arts a limited amount of times. That's one of them. The other one I haven't used myself yet, but it's called Overdrive. Apparently, this is like the busted system that kills super bosses if you do it right.
Hmm.
I haven't experimented with it yet, but it's something similar. But like, you have 10 seconds. It's always counting down, and you have to kind of have like there's like the numbers get like a certain color. You have to use that color art to extend it, and you basically want to keep it going as much as you can. But I'm not really that well aware of it yet, so.
Hmm. So something that
But you
we
get some
haven't.
funky.
Oh,
No. That's all I was gonna say.
so something that we haven't covered at all yet is that each game, maybe not at its initial release, but each game has gotten an additional chapter or segment of the game outside of like the main story. When Xenoblade 1 got its Switch port, they added in another part of story that took place from the main game. that where with Shulk, Melia, and then two of Riki's kids, Nene and Kino. Xenoblade 2 got
Mhm.
the DLC of Torna the Golden Country, which showed the last time Mithra was awakened and her battle with Malos that ended up destroying the entire continent of Torna. Xenoblade 3 got DLC of Future Redeemed, which showed some point in the past of the game with it showed like Matthew who founded the city and alongside older Rex and older Shulk and one kid from each of them, Nickel and Glimmer, and then also A, who's like I don't remember A's origin. It's like a female discarded half from Alvis, who's like, I'm gonna get rid of my emotions because I'm gonna be a logical machine only now. Yeah, sure,
Mhm.
whatever, Alvis.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to tell yourself to sleep at night. And then X, I haven't looked into it at all, but I know that X's definitive edition has an extra chapter as well. What's in it? I'm not looking. I just know it
Interesting.
exists.
Yeah. The
But
intrigue.
what do we think of those? Because like I watched Future Connected. We talked a little bit about its villain, and he sucks. And personally, I kind of think it's kind of plot. It's kind of like there. It's supposed to be like it's supposed to be like we like tease into threes sort of with the fog beast, but it really doesn't.
It was
Two
strange,
with
yeah.
Torna was really good. Torna was a lot of fun. Like there were some elements that I think needed to be scaled back on. And then three, I'd really like seeing. I kind of wish like it went further into the past, but I really liked getting to see like older Rex and older Shulk, in like okay, where are they at now in their lives?
Hmm.
Donna, what do you think?
I haven't played Future Connected, but reading into it, it's seems like it's fine. I mean, that's kind of my impression. It's like okay,
It's all right. I liked it a lot.
whatever.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. Okay. Torna, I liked better than the main game. I
Yeah.
mean, the backstory, the tone, Laura and Jen are just compelling characters. Very strong. So I enjoyed that. I think that's the best example of an accent piece for a Xenoblade game. Like Torna really raises the bar for what to expect from Xenoblade 2. Like it leaves. I have a much better overall impression of 2 because of Torna. Um, 3 Future Redeemed. Jesus. I
Yeah.
mean,
They spoiled
there
us.
you go. Yeah, Daddy Rex. What can you say besides that? Like Xantok, Xantok has
It's
said
like
multiple times. Yeah,
it's like
I'm
getting a
not wrong.
delicious chocolate lava cake with your pizza.
that's what they call Rex. Delicious chocolate lava cake on the pizza
Double
known
spinning
as
lava cake.
no on the pizza I call Xantok.
Pepperoni.
And you, Kelly, what are your thoughts?
I think, yeah, like they're not all made equal. Like you said, Future Connected, I mean, it gets rid of visions, it gets rid of chain attacks for Pawn Spectre moves, which are fun.
Hmm.
It's always nice to kind of have like I imagine this was like what it was like to get expansions back in like the PC era, like Half-Life and whatever. It's like, oh, there's more to the story. Cool, give it to me. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like I'll never, and just like with Torna and Future Redeemed, just by how much they refine and polish those systems, like the battle and just like and even like little like quality of life. Like I think Future Redeemed had like some sort of kept track of like say you defeat 3 different enemies, it adds it to like the enemypedia. It makes me wish we had those features in the base game. Like they're just like such a welcome addition. It's like, yeah, oh my gosh, this is great. And there's like the incursion, like the enemy incursion, where you go in and you fight like 15 enemies without alerting them, fall to your position. Little things like that are great. And yeah, I played Torna last year, and or
Hmm.
was it the year before? Maybe it was 2 years ago. Can't remember. Time is a flat circle. But yeah, just like how well that the gameplay, the combat flowed with the blade switching and just being able to do all the orbs. the orb setups and the combos. It just was so smooth and seamless, and it was like Rogue One to A New Hope. It's just like these characters aren't all gonna make it out, and it's tragic to see what happens to the community after you've spent
Mm-hmm.
all that time building it up. And there's also the community in Future Redeemed as well, which is a little much more lighthearted than Torna, I think. But yeah, they really didn't have to go all that way, and it's really a testament to the quality level I think that Monolith strives for,
Mm-hmm.
which is just super excellent from what we've seen.
Yeah, which is another quill in the hat for endorsing a Xenoblade Warriors, because Nintendo
Yeah.
finally can't beat around the bush with its story and give us just Hacknite and a separate version of Three Houses, where we thought we were going to get more of an explanation on those who slither, or especially like how egregious the Age of Calamity and probably whatever the future, I'm forgetting the name of the future game coming out, but just like, oh, the characters teleported to the past and saved you from the calamity. It's like, oh, that's not the tone I wanted from this game at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be like up there, like top 10 most disappointing things in a Nintendo game. Number one is Sticker Star. You're not beating that. But Age of Calamity chickening out and sort of like giving us the real dire ending. Something was like, oh yeah, your friends from the future time traveled and saved the day. It's like,
Yeah.
why? Like, I
Yeah.
know Zelda's no stranger to split timelines. Hello, Ocarina of Time. But really? Come on, that's not why people wanted to see the devastation. That's why people were interested in that game. They didn't want to get
Right.
it fucking time
Oh,
travel Deus Ex.
yeah. Age of Imprisonment. Yeah, Age
Yeah.
of Imprisonment. Just wait. Oh, Zelda went back in time and saved whatever, and now Ganondorf never happened. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. Uh-huh. I'm just waiting for it.
I mean, Zelda's
It
already
definitely
back in
feels
time.
like I could see them doing that again. Like honestly, like with Age of Calamity, I think soured some people. It feels like they're just gonna do like well, you've already know what the outcome of this, so why stick with that? Let's do our own another
Mm-hmm.
separate
Yeah.
branch.
And if they had done
Yeah.
that, it's like an extra mode after you beat the main story, you unlock like, here's a what if, and then here's these other characters, and like here's like what could have happened. That would have been
Mhm.
fine. The fact that it was like the
Right.
main game story, like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a feeling as a Xenoblade Warriors would not do that.
No.
Hopefully. Hopefully. That's why I still think Hyrule Warriors is the best Nintendo Warriors game. Like, yeah, it was super cheesy. The falling in love with Link antagonist was ridiculous, but it like leaned into it. It's like, oh, this is fine, and the crossover was cool.
And eventually they added like a varied cast of characters. Some very like, really? Agatha? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Madeline?
That's
Medley?
yeah. So
All right.
exactly the King of Red Lions.
Yeah. It's like, how the hell? But we also
Yeah.
got like Tingle. We got a brand new Linkle. We got Skull Kid. We got some really cool choices. Meanwhile, the first Fire Emblem Warriors game, it's like, I think the base game did have like 3 characters outside of Awakening Fates and Shadow Dragon, but they weren't part of the story. They were just extra ones you can get beyond that, which was Lynn, Celica, and Ike, I think.
Not
I think
Ike.
it was not Ike.
Like
Historically, no Ike. That's what I remember about that game.
Who's the third one then? And I know DLC like added a couple other things, but I think they still stuck to like the main 3. I have to look it up now
Mhm.
because the fuck,
Yeah.
it's so disappointing. And the main OCs of the game are also just like, ew, you're gross.
should know that.
Yeah.
I
If you ignore the story, which is also really dumb, then I think mechanically Fire Emblem Warriors might be the best one. Just from how well the weapon triangles work,
Mhm.
as well as magic and arrows. It
Oh yeah,
works
I
really well.
quite liked
It feels
I
good.
quite liked the
Sorry.
gameplay in Three Hopes. I like Three Hopes is non-offensive. Like I did like it. Mhm. I
Those
didn't
frame
play
rates
Fire
though.
Emblem, the first FE Warrior, because I was offended that Ike was included.
Oh no, Lynn and Silk are the only two outside of the other three games in the game. It's just them.
Very odd. Very odd.
there's
Luckily,
something interesting.
Nintendo then turned around and did Heroes and decided that they didn't hate the entire rest of the series.
Yeah.
So at least it's that. And at least that's, again, the feather in Engage's hat. At least they acknowledge the everything.
Yeah. They had three from like base release was three from Shadow Dragon, one from Echoes, one from Blazing Blade, 7 from Awakening, and then 10 from Fates. And then
God.
DLC added 3 more from Shadow Dragon, 3 more from Awakening, and 3 more from Fates. It's like, Christ, hell, guys.
If there were a Xenoblade Warriors, would you want it to be in that cross-world style where characters from 1, 2, and 3 and X are all coming in? Or would you like it to be a continuation of something like 3? You get your questions answered through a Warriors game.
I don't know if they... It depends on like how the story would end up going. Because also, like, if X is going to be involved, then we either need to have X be confirmed connected through some project, which I don't think this would be the game to do that in, or this has to be a pocket dimension where just having everything plucked from different places, which is already a canon thing that happens in Xenoblade, because again, the Napalm Sage. He literally does that. He brings Shulk, Fiora, and Elma into Xenoblade 2, and then again, they appear again in Xenoblade 3. He does that. So we know that that's assuming Napalm Sage is canon, in some degree. We know that's already an existing thing. But like I think like it would have to be that kind of a style.
Yeah,
That would be funny just to have the Nope on stage one day be like, we're gonna bring all the different casts together and then some, and just have them do a fun like little mission.
Over the course of the past 30 years, I've been visiting different worlds and meeting all kinds of interesting words, and sometimes make them meet and we see what happens. But I've only done it in small amounts. It's all been, a test, a trial of sorts, but the tests have all been a success. The trials are ready to expand, and so it is time to summon mass multitudes of these warriors of different realms into one grand arena to fight for my entertainment and yours.
I know who I'm casting for the role of Nope on stage when they make that game.
Yeah. Well, no.
Sadly, he already has a voice, but
he's got like 3 different voices in every game. He's different.
True.
And Chris Pratt is Mario. So I mean,
when I was in the Arcsage Gate, I used to spend all day slicing up Googles
and stomping bunnets.
Wow. Yep.
Oh my god!
What a bunch of jokers. That's good. We can be here all. I'm here all day, folks.
Well, unfortunately, we have gone a bit past our usual time. So, in the interest of not making this into an 11-hour hellscape, John is having war flashbacks. Any final thoughts on Xenoblade, characters, franchise setting, the representation in Smash, anything at all? Jono.
Donkey Kong could be the next Google in a Xenoblade game.
Do you have a final thought besides that?
It was a great episode. Thank you for being here, Kelly. I had a great time. That's about it. I mean, we had a great conversation. Multi-sided indeed.
Kelly, your final thoughts.
Yeah, this series just means so much to me from just how, I mean, it started off, I think the first time I heard about it was on Smashboards, because people were talking about Shulk, and just thinking like, oh, that's cool. Like, I didn't really think of it much of it at the time, but and then when they did, like, I think this trailer got leaked when he backslashes Bowser, in Smash 4. And I just remember thinking like, oh my gosh, this guy looks so cool, because in Smash 4, Shulk looks so amazing. compared to his ultimate model, his face just is just not it. But yeah, just seeing the effect that the series has had on Smash, and then that Smash has had on the series, and just how it just astounds me how like Monolith Soft just feels like this secret weapon of Nintendo's that they just kind of they call them in, even like not on Xenoblade, but just on like Animal Crossing, Splatoon,
Breath of the
um,
Wild.
Breath of the Wild, both and Tears of the Kingdom, and just a whole slew of others. They've just been like kind of like a shadow agency in the background, just casually helping make some of the best games of all time, and just like they never miss. They almost never miss. Can't wait to see what they do next.
Agreed. Well, like Donna said, they had a good one. We've had you on a few times. We'll have you on some more. I don't know when that'll be, but we got there's gonna be a Kellyjelly special next season at the bare minimum.
Oh, yeah.
But that's it for Xenoblade. A lot of great characters. Give me that Warriors game. But with that all said, we're done.